Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the Tennessee Titans with the new addition of Robert Woods. He is 30, so I don't plan to keep him around for a while. He's wearing Julio's number because Julio did get cut. I'm going to refresh this roster here. I'm going to change up some schemes right away. Vertical zone run, and then 4-3 quarters with Baltimore's playbook seemed to work pretty well last time for me in my last simulation with the Packers. So Baltimore is a boom or bust, same with the Dolphins playbook. So if you guys have any great defensive playbooks with the scheme, let me know because I am struggling hardcore. Where is the Buccaneers playbook? It usually works always really, really well for me. There it is. I passed it multiple times. Anyways, looking at the team, Ryan Tannehill. He may be a solid quarterback in real life. That divisional round game against the Bengals really showed you a yikes in his performance. For those guys trying to defend him, like, oh, well, he doesn't have his own line like he used to, blah, 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 this, that, the other. I'm aware. Just Ryan Tannehill, I've never seen him more than a solid QB. I've never seen him as a great QB. It's just my personal opinion, so I will be looking to replace Ryan Tannehill in this rebuild. I know it probably won't happen in real life, but in Madden, regression for a QB starts at 33. He is 34, so he will have basically no value from here on out. A.J. Brown, beast, super underrated, great contested catcher. Will Fuller, Derrick Henry, obviously a beast. I don't agree with paying running backs a big contract because running backs are so replaceable of position. But whenever you have someone like Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, I think they deserve a deal, but not something over $10 million a year. If you're paying a running back over $10 million a year, it's just it's really not worth it in my opinion. Because having a great running back is amazing and all. It's just $15 million a year for a replaceable position. That doesn't sound good to me. I mean, in Madden, I can work with it because there's not a bunch of players demanding a bunch of money. Because in Madden, whenever a player asks for a contract, it's like a fair contract. In real life, whenever a player asks for contracts, they go ridiculously high, especially with the new wide receiver market. Insane. Obviously, Robert Woods is great. He's just, yeah, again, 30 years old, as I said. Austin Hooper, it was a nice signing because it was a cheap signing. I agree with this move. I like this move for the Titans. Good signing by them. Roger Saffold is on the Bills now. O-line needs to be improved in this upcoming draft. Defensively looking into it. Bud Dupree, I want to cut him so bad. His contract, it's just so garbage. If someone's willing to take this contract, it would help them. It's just such a garbage contract. It's really bad. Bud Dupree is not a bad player, but for $20 million a year, God no. Caleb Farley is a solid player whenever he's not hurt, obviously. We didn't really get too much of a chance to see him. Recently, Solomon Thomas just signed with the Titans. Justin Simmons is a freak. Deshaun Hand just signed with the Titans as well. Jason Verrett is solid. He's just old. So we're going to need to replace that as well. Amani Hooker, Kevin Byard's great. Harold Landry just got a nice big deal. Since Harold Landry is an edge rusher and we are in now a 4-3 scheme and not a 3-4, I am going to now move Harold Landry down to the right end position. I feel like that would just be better overall for the team. And yeah, this is just my personal opinion on the team. Has a lot of potential here. It's just the quarterback is an iffy situation here. So for those guys looking at the standings, it says the Titans were 7-10. I'm aware of that. I loaded in a realistic draft class here. So I'm going to pick what I think the Titans would pick at their spot in the draft. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it's late in the draft. So anyways, guys, I'm going to skip out on free agency. I don't want to sign any players that may get signed in real life. So I'm going to skip out on free agency and just simulate to the draft. In the first round, I'm picking up Trevor Penning, 6'7", 326 pounds out of Northern Iowa. I need to beef up this offensive line. I still plan on using Ryan Tannehill, but I will try to find his replacement in this draft or maybe the next draft. So here we are with the overlook of the team after the draft. Trevor Penning is a 69 overall. Nice. O-line still needs to be improved a little bit in my opinion. Defensively, the D-line, interior D-line can do better. Linebackers I'm satisfied with now. Bud Dupree, I want to get him out of here as soon as possible. So if I can trade him at the midseason mark, that'd be sick. So it's time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are in the playoffs going 5-2, top of the division. And the Colts are here to steal it from us in this upcoming week. Jeffrey Simmons, I do want to re-sign you. You almost always hit free agency in Madden Simulation, so I'm going to make sure you don't get there. A.J. Brown, of course, I want you back. There's some contracts on this team that need to be adjusted because I'm running thin on money, and A.J. Brown doesn't want to re-sign. And I shouldn't be running thin on money considering how not very amazing this team is. Jason Verrett's old, Brett Kern old, Nate Davis I need back as well. I'm going to short myself of money completely if I can get all these players back. Amani Hooker isn't even that bad. 80 overall, 24 years old, up the money. He resigns. Ben Jones, no. David Long, no. Brock Purdy, QB, don't really want him. Anyways, guys, apart from that, I'd say that it is now time to simulate to the next week to see if we can beat the Indianapolis Colts to hold the division. Let's see what we got. We do. 21-7, 6-2, top of the division. Let's move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs going 12-5, top of the division, here to face the divisional rivals, the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe they get their revenge on us. Coming off a win to the Russell Wilson and the Broncos. Stats and awards, let's see what we got here. Ryan Tannehill had a great season, 4th best offense in the NFL, and 2nd best defense. Ryan Tannehill, 4,700 yards, 32 TDs, 9 receptions. Great overall stat line. Completion percentage, I'd like it to be at like 65%, but I'm not going to complain too much. Even though you guys are like, oh, we had a great season, I still got to find his replacement because it doesn't matter if you had a great season. If you regress the next season, you might just tank. It's a might. I don't know. So either way, I have to find some type of replacement. Anyways, Derrick Henry, 16 TDs, 5.6 per carry, 1,500 yards. 90 yards average, amazing season. 90 yards average per game is what I meant to say for Derrick Henry. A.J. Brown, 1,400 yards, 8 TDs. That's superstar dev. Austin Hooper, 8 TDs, 1,000 yards. Robert Woods, almost 1,000 yards, 8 TDs. Looking at it defensively, Zach Cunningham, 112 tackles for a loss. 23 from Jeffrey Simmons. Sacks, 20 from Jeffrey Simmons, 20 from Harold Landry. Wow. Jeffrey Simmons should get X Factor. Harold Landry should get superstar. David Long, 4 interceptions. That's surprising. I don't even think he's my starting middle linebacker. Safeties, 1 for Harold Landry and 1 for Rashad Weaver. I don't even know who that is, honestly. 0 defensive touchdowns. So if you guys, Titans fans, get mad at me like, oh, how do you not know who Rashad Weaver is? I don't pay attention to the Titans that much, if I'm being honest. So let's see if we can beat the Indianapolis Colts to move on to the divisional, and we do. 24-21 here to face the 13-4 Baltimore Ravens. I wouldn't be too upset if we lost them here. Let's see what we got. We beat them 17-14. Let's see if we can beat the 8-9 Cincinnati Bengals, who snuck into the playoffs to move on to the Super Bowl. Here we are against the Cincinnati Bengals at home, as it is 3-0. Let's see if we can beat them, unlike how the Titans did in real life. The Titans did not beat the Bengals in real life, but that was the divisional round. This is conference championship. And shaping up to the Bengals winning right now, 15-23, 30-15, 37-15. All right, then. We're getting kind of smacked around. 40-15. We're getting slapped, dude. 40-22. We got humiliated, kind of like how the Titans were expected to beat the Bengals and got humiliated. Not really humiliated by the Bengals, but how do you become the number 1 seed and then lose to a team that was projected to be a first-round exit? Anyways, not the point. We lost. Let's move to the offseason. And the Bengals beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. There are no awards here for the Tennessee Titans. All right. Anyways, let's look into the roster to see if there is any dev-ups. I think Ryan Tannehill should have superstar. He does. That's good. But see, the thing is, he's no longer an 84. He's an 84 with morale. Therefore, he regressed 4 overalls after getting superstar dev. Like, he's starting regression. I can't do much about it. And A.J. Brown, I was about to say Antonio Brown. A.J. Brown is for sure getting superstar dev. He just had a great season, and he's been dominant in the NFL for a little bit now. I don't see why he wouldn't get superstar dev. And there it is. 93 overall. Trevor Penning is up to a 76 overall star dev. Nice to see. Defensively, looking into it, Jason Verrett is superstar, but I'm still not going to re-sign him. Justin Simmons gets X Factor. Harold Landry literally also had 20 sacks. I don't see why he wouldn't get a dev up. I understand Jeffrey Simmons had 23 tackles for a loss and Harold Landry had like 7, but it doesn't matter. The dude had 20 sacks in a season. You can't tell me he's not at least a superstar. Solomon Thomas is an 85 overall with the boost. He starts regression this year, so I'm not really interested. and re-signing him. So let's move to the re-sign players here to see who we have to re-sign. I believe A.J. Brown still wanted a contract, and it'll probably be bigger now that he is superstar dev. So really unfortunate that we couldn't re-sign him at the midseason. We could have probably had him on a cheaper deal. 2022 retirements. Let's see who we have for the AFC South. Ben Jones retires. Still going to have to upgrade that center position, I guess. Players ready to negotiate. I was planning to replace him anyways. A.J. Brown, he wanted a bigger bonus, I believe, so let's give him that. And he resigns, actually. Wow, that's surprising. Jason Verrett, 1 year for $4 million. I'll do that. He wants to hit free agency, so that's fine. David Long was the leading interception leader on the team. Leading interception leader. My bad. You know what I mean. I'll drop a 2-year deal on him. He's pretty depth-worthy. That's nice. Aldrick Rosas is here. I didn't know that. That's fine. So anyways, we only have $11 million to spend in free agency, which I'm not very fond of. So I'm going to skip to the draft and try to dump Bud Dupree. Let's simulate to it. In the first round, I'm picking Keenan Harris, normal dev, 87 strength. Doesn't seem to be that good, but I'm going to move him into center. Here we are after the draft. As I was saying before, Tannehill is now an 80 overall. It looks like Keenan Harris isn't a bad pick. 73 overall isn't bad. He was just unfortunate not to get a development trait because offensive linemen cannot upgrade their devs in Madden. It's really stupid. I hate that. 71 overall center. This is the Ryan guy, Sean Ryan, I picked in the last season. I'm cool with this offensive line. I don't think I'm going to upgrade it any further. Defensively, this is what we got here. I just got to say, Bud Dupree just needs to go now. I'm going to give him this upgrade here so he increases his overall so that way it makes his value better whenever I go to trade him now because I am sick and tired of this garbage contract sitting on my team. $20 million a year for a 73 overall. You must be smoking if you think I'm going to keep this. Bears, perfect team. Why not just go kill your career? What do we have? Give me a 5th round pick. I'll accept that for him. 5th round pick for Bud Dupree. Sounds good to me. Anyways, the rhymes, dimes, and chimes are all coming in here. David Long, not going to move up. McLean, Jacoby McLean. Didn't know you were on this team. Nice stuff. Christian Fulton. We need some depth at DB. Christian Fulton as a second string. And yes, Christian Fulton as a second string just won't work. It just won't. Tom Brady's here. I want to make sure to sign another QB so that way Tom Brady doesn't get signed. Ryan Fitzmagic. Always got to sign Ryan Fitzmagic. Just so that way we don't accidentally sign Tom Brady. I don't think he will sign with the Titans, and I don't think he would ever be willingly going to sit in free agency. Daniel Carlson as a kicker. Sure, we needed one. Tyler Bass is here, actually. I'm going to cut that other kicker. I want Tyler Bass over the other kicker. Jordan Poyer. Ooh, that would be sick. DB, Steven Nelson. I guess I'll rock with you. You're not better than Christian Fulton, but it's just depth at the position. So we're going to refresh this roster, review the specialist, then get into the midseason mark. Refresh this. Special teams. I know Carlson just got signed, but Daniel Carlson. I guess I don't have a punter anymore, so Carlson is now going to just move to punter forcefully. I know it's not really the most realistic thing, but I don't really care because either way, if you can kick a ball, you can kick a ball. Not really. That's not really how it works at all. But Daniel Carlson is now my punter, Sherman, specialist. Let's see what we got. Will Fuller in the slot. I'd much rather develop someone else like Jalen Tolbert, who's a 73 overall in general, but a 69 overall slot. Nice. McLean, I would like to start over Zach Cunningham just because Zach Cunningham is regressing. So I'd like to do that. Offensively, defensively, Jacoby McLean. Okay, and the loading screen continues to stay on my screen. Okay, I know this is a really dragged out part before the midseason. I was just making sure that I got everything that I wanted before the season started. Tolbert, I'm still going to start over Will Fuller. I think Will Fuller is just not the future for this team. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to move into the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 4-2. The Colts are 5-2, top of the division, just because we had an earlier bye week. Here to face the 4-2 Bengals. I'll simulate that week just to see if we win. And Derrick Henry, that's only $10 million a year. Oh, yeah, I said at most you should pay a running back $10 million a year. So yeah, completely works for me now that his contract is not $15 million a year. I like that. Harold Landry, just had a massive year. I don't see why we wouldn't re-sign him. $12 million a year. He resigns. That Bud Dupree contract being gone, so helpful. Taylor Lewan, I want to see how he regresses, so I will give him a 1-year deal. Ryan Tannehill, I don't know what I want to do with you. I'm not paying you $24 million. In real life, you're getting paid way more. Christian Fulton is quite young and stupid cheap, so I will re-sign him. Solomon Thomas, no. Everyone else here is a no. Actually, Tyler Bass and Daniel Carson are a yes, but whenever I can get to their contracts, I'll get to them. But yeah, Ryan Tannehill, I don't think he's long-term future. Maybe I'll just snag someone in free agency. So it's now time to move to the playoffs. Here we are going 9-8, just barely missing the playoffs, as our defense was just horrible this year, even though it improved. Makes no sense. Coming off a win to the Colts, as the Colts tank their season and go 8-9. I didn't even trade Ryan Tannehill or anything. I don't know what's up with that. We were 4-2, went to 9-8. Ryan Tannehill had a great season. Touchdowns, yeah, that's pretty good still. 5th best offense, 2nd worst defense, makes no sense. 5,000 yards, 31 TDs, 16 receptions. Derrick Henry, 14 TDs, 5.6 per carry, 1,300 yards. Robert Woods, 1,200 yards, 3 TDs. Good in yards and receptions, but TDs need to go up. A.J. Brown, 10 TDs, 1,200 yards. Austin Hooper, 914 with 6 TDs. Looking at it defensively, Christian Fulton with 118 tackles for a loss, 18 for Harold Landry, sacks, 14 for Harold Landry, 14 for Simmons. They're just matching each other year after year. 3 interceptions for Amani Hooker and Caleb Farley. Safeties is 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, guys, apart from that, unfortunate second year. It's time to move in to the offseason. The Chiefs beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. CEH wins Super Bowl MVP. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, of course. And there are no awards here for the Tennessee Titans. Does Ryan Tannehill get X Factor? Even if he does, I'm still going to let him hit free agency. Let's see what he has. Superstar. No upgrades on the offense. I'm going to let Ryan Tannehill hit free agency. If I can't find anyone better in free agency, I'll just re-sign him there. Defensively, looking into it, Reynolds gets star and McClain gets star as well. So that's cool to see. Everyone else here does not get a dev up. I'm fine with that. 2 of my linebackers that I want to develop get star dev. I'm completely cool with that. So the defense is apparently a huge problem and it needs to improve. So I guess I will... what will I want to do then? I guess players ready to negotiate with the EA symbol next to it. That doesn't pop up very much. I guess I'll focus defensive tackle. Ryan Tannehill said no. Solomon Thomas, no. I already said yes to Tyler Bass. I'll extend you for 5 years. Let's get that going. Daniel Carlson, I'll extend you for 5 years. Sure, why not? You're a punter. And he resigns. I know I can get him for cheaper in free agency, but I'm not that worried about it. So let's move into free agency. Here we are after free agency. Lamar Jackson on a cheap deal for a 99 overall X Factor QB. It's not my fault the Ravens didn't re-sign him, so he's going to be on the Titans now. Better than Ryan Tannehill, of course. What was the other QB signings? Russell Wilson was here, but he was older. Ryan Tannehill goes to the Packers. I wouldn't have offered him that much money anyways, so I'm not that big on it. Matthew Stafford to the Giants. Jordan Love. Wow. Jordan Love to the Vikings. That's interesting. Jimmy Garoppolo to the Broncos. I can see that. Taylor Heineke to the Ravens. I can see that. Kyle Allen to the Ravens. I can see that as well. Jacob Eason, Patriots. Mason Rudolph, Buccaneers. Dwayne Haskins, Cowboys. Interesting. All right, then. We also got Trayvon Diggs from the Cowboys. I forgot to mention that. Anyways, it's now time to get to the draft. In the first round at pick 17, I'm picking up a wide receiver, Christopher Sutton. Hidden dev, 6'2", 203 out of LSU, 90 speed. I just saw B medium route, B spec catch, C short route, and I was like, that's good enough for me. So he's going to be my first round pick, another weapon for Lamar, and I think I'm going to get rid of Will Fuller. In the second round, I'm picking up Saul Anderson, 6'5", 251 out of Clemson, hidden dev, good stuff. This is the overlook of the team after the draft. Anderson is only a 69 overall at tight end, 65 at fullback, but remember, keyword 69, nice. Sutton is a 73 overall. He's going to start over Will Fuller. I like him. I like him a lot. Will Fuller is going to be cut from the team. Just don't need him anymore. $7 million in cap is saved. Hell yeah, I definitely want that. Lamar Jackson, 99 overall. He's got a solid offensive line. It's some solid weapons as well. Austin Hooper's an 86 overall. Sutton's going to play as a specialist over Tolbert's. I need new defensive tackles. Zach Cunningham shouldn't be lasting here for too long. How old is he? 29. Yeah, he's in the regression phase. Trayvon Diggs, good. Christian Fulton, solid. Caleb Farley is solid as well. Amani Hooker is solid. Just all around solid. I need defensive tackle. I need to address that just like now. And see if we can scoop some up in free agency. Maybe defensive tackle. Sheldon Rankins, he's going to have to do. He's better than what we have. Sheldon Rankins and Linval Joseph are going to be the starting defensive tackles for this team. That's the best we can get. I can't really say much else other than that. So adjust lineup. Let's go to here. Refresh it. Sutton. Again, I have to adjust all of this. Tolbert to 76 overall specialist. Sutton's going to start in the slot. Linval Joseph is fine at second string. Christian Fulton in the slot defensively. Got everything I want. Making sure we're all good again, just to go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. So let's move to the midseason. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 5-1, top of the division, highly contested division. Jags are 5-2, Colts are 5-2. We can be easily knocked out here. Anyways, Kevin Byard, need him back, even though he is regressing. He is the superstar of the defense, literally. I mean, other than obviously Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons. Zach Cunningham, no, he's regressing. Taylor Lewan, he's regressing as well. But only $6 million? Oh yeah, another 1-year deal will work for me. $6 million for a left tackle, that is quite the steal. Riley Moss, no. Anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Packers, 13-4, still securing a first-round bye. Stats and awards, amazing year. Lamar did great, most passing touchdowns, 6 passing yards, 4th best defense in the NFL. 18th best defense doesn't make a lot of sense. 4,500 yards, 46 TDs, 10 receptions, nice completion percentage. Rushing wise, 24 touchdowns, 5.4 per carry, 1,600 yards for Derrick Henry. Lamar's worst nightmare in that divisional round whenever the Ravens went 14-2. I cried. Robert Woods, 1,200 yards, 11 TDs, finally showing out. A.J. Brown, 11 TDs, 1,200 yards. Christopher Sutton, 8-11 with 75 receptions and 12 TDs. Great rookie year. Defensively, Zach Cunningham, 108 tackles for a loss, 20 for Jeffrey Simmons, sacks, 11.5 for Jeffrey Simmons, 11.5 for Harold Landry. These guys matched every single season so far. Interceptions, 7 for Trayvon Diggs. That should be an X factor. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. Where can I see how many yards Trayvon Diggs let up? I'm sure it's in the thousands. Anyways, let's see what we got here. So we are going to go to Advanced Week. Next week, let's see who we're going to be playing the divisional round to see if we can move on to the conference championship. The Bengals, 11-6. Someone wrote this before, especially in season 1 and in real life. We beat them 28-21. Let's see if we can beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the conference championship to move on to the Super Bowl. Here we are against the Kansas City Chiefs as they score on their opening drive, and we do too, but only 3 points, not 7. 14-3, 14-10. Okay, come on, please do something. 20-10, 17-20. Oh, come on, 24-20, taking our first lead, and they almost take it back. 27-23. I don't like that 6-point lead. Oh, this is way too close. 23-27. Our defense holds up against the Kansas City offense. That is so impressive. Lamar Jackson, 3 touchdowns with 1 interception, 274 passing yards. Rushing yards, what do we got here? Lamar with only 23? Yeah, that's cap. Anyways, let's get to the Super Bowl as this is already a successful rebuild. Here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face the 10-7 Washington football team. They have the 9th best offense and 10th best defense. We have the 6th best defense in points per game. In points per game's term, 6th best defense. Looking into the roster, let's see if there is any development upgrades. Offensively, Robert Woods gets superstar dev, no surprise there. He's been solid for us throughout this rebuild. Cameron Sutton is now an 82 overall with the boost, 79 overall without the boost. He's a deep threat, +2 spec catch is good. Anderson is only a star dev, that's fine with me. Looking at it defensively, McClain is a superstar now, 79 overall without the boost, 82 with the boost. Trayvon Diggs gets X factor, no surprise. Amani Hooker is a 85 overall. And look at that, our defensive tackles are helping quite a bit as they might just snag a Super Bowl here as we sign them in free agency, which is basically free agency because nobody was targeting them. So it's now time to move into the Super Bowl against Aiden Hutchinson, who went to the football team. Interesting. Here we are against the Commanders. I've been calling them the football team this entire time because whenever I say Redskins, people get angry. So I had to adjust to football team. Now I have to adjust to Commanders. 10-10, 10-13. Commanders are up 13-13. It's a just back and forth battle. Nobody's scoring in the third quarter. 20-13 now. We did. 20-16, 27-16. I like that 2-possession lead. 27-19. Let's go. 27-19 as we beat the Commanders in the Super Bowl. That is definitely a successful rebuild with Lamar Jackson. As I was saying, Ryan Tannehill is a solid quarterback. He's not a 99 overall X factor. So let's move to the offseason. Lamar Jackson's wins Super Bowl MVP, and there are no awards here for the Tennessee Titans. I'm surprised we did not win Coach of the Year at 13-4. The Jaguars, Urban Meyer wins Coach of the Year at 11-6 somehow. All right. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. We made the Super Bowl and got a first seed, but all right. Anyways, this is what the overlook of the team looks like. Obviously, there is no upgrades because we've already reviewed this. I don't know why I'm reviewing this now. Let's move to the re-sign players to see who we have. I don't think there's anyone else that I want to resign. And we're going into our fourth and final season. That doesn't really matter considering we've already made a successful rebuild with this team. So let's see what we got here for the 2024 retirements, as we are going to have AFC South. Right outside linebacker retires for the Colts. And players ready to negotiate. Let's see who we have here. Zach Cunningham, no. Linval Joseph, no. David Long, no, because he is regressing. Everyone else here is just a no for me. So apart from that, guys, we have $43 million to spend. Let's hop into free agency. So after free agency, we signed Nick Bolton on a huge deal. Even though he has normal dev, he's an 87 overall, so that's great. Byron Jones on a one-year deal, pretty cheap. Javon Hargrave, same boat as Byron Jones. So anyways, guys, we're going to get into the draft, and I'm probably going to pick up a middle linebacker or a defensive tackle. So let's get into it. In the first round, end of the first round, DeAndre Harris, he was projected to go in the late second round, but I'm in the late first round. I'm desperate for a D tackle. DeAndre Harris is the pick. In the second round, I'm picking up Chance Thomas. 6'3", 225 out of USC, hidden dev, 91 speed, B catching, B play rec, C injury, F stamina. Don't really need to worry about that. He's a good pick, and he's going to be our backup middle linebacker. Here we are after the draft, as this is what the team looks like going into the fourth and final season. Robert Woods is a third string now, unfortunate. He's also our slot player. Thomas is a 73 overall, so he seems to be a good 75 overall. Very good pick by me. I will credit myself for that. Byron Jones seems to be pretty good. And it looks like Harris, was this the guy we picked? Yeah, DeAndre Harris. Only 70 overall, 68 overall actually without the boost. So really a bust of a first round pick, but Thomas seemed to be great. Glad we got him. And yeah, that's the final overlook of the team. So anyways, guys, let's move to the playoffs because we don't need to look at the midseason mark. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Ravens as we are 11-6, second in the division, here to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Stats and awards, let's see what we got here. Lamar had another great season. Second best offense in the NFL, defensively 8th. That's what I'm talking about. Almost 5,000 yards, 4.945, 39 TDs, 7 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. Great TD to interception ratio. Derrick Henry, 23 TDs, 5.8 per carry, 1,600 yards. Lamar with only 66 carries, 337 yards, and 2 TDs is so unrealistic. A.J. Brown, 11 TDs, 1,300 yards. Christopher Sutton, 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 yards, 7 TDs. Robert Woods, 7 TDs, almost 1,000 yards. Robert Woods has been solid throughout this rebuild. Nick Bolton, 115 tackles for a loss, 15 for Harold Landry, sacks, 22 for Harold Landry, finally pushing away Jeffrey Simmons as Harold Landry asserts his dominance over Jeffrey Simmons in the sacks. That sounded so wrong. I literally just said Harold Landry asserts his dominance over sacks. Cover your ears, kids. Anyways, interceptions, 2 for Amani Hooker and 2 for Caleb Farley. I expected more than that. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Trayvon Diggs. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to see if we can beat the Kansas City Chiefs to move on to the divisional. If we don't beat them, it's not that big of a deal because we've already won the Super Bowl, and we don't. 42-35, I'm not mad about that loss. We had a good season, but at the same time, we already won the Super Bowl previously, so it's not that big of a deal. This is the fourth and final overlook of the team before I exit this video. If you guys want my downloaded, updated rosters, make sure you go check out the link in my description. And apart from that, guys, I thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.